Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the channel. My name is Kelsey, aka the Empress, and today we are back with another pick a card reading, and we are looking at a message from your higher self, what your higher self is trying to communicate to you, what your higher self wants or needs you to know at the time that you find yourself here at this video. Okay, so out in front of you we have 4 card selections here. And I'm going to ask you guys to take a deep breath, ground yourself, connect to your intuition, connect to your guides, and ask which one of these 4 cards is holding the message from your higher self that you need to hear at this time. Okay, and here we have card number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And allow yourself the freedom to use your own discernment as well if there's more than one card calling to you, or if you come back to this reading at a later date and it's a different card than what you chose this time. That's okay. That just means that the messages are different for you now, or that there's something else that you need to hear. Okay, and I will have the timestamps to the beginning of each reading in the description box below, as well as the cards that I'm using in this reading for anybody who's curious about that. So without further ado, you guys, go ahead and pause the video if you still need a moment, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to group number 1. Hello, my beautiful group number 1. Those of you that chose card number 1, this is your reading, and we are looking at messages from your higher self. Okay, so in this reading, we're going to take a look at the overall energy or theme of the message that your higher self wants to talk to you about today. And then we're going to shuffle out some tarot and go a little bit deeper into that message. And we'll also pull a few more oracle messages to just bring in anything else that your higher self may want or need you to know at this time. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. I do ask, if you enjoy this reading, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. But group number 1, let's go ahead and see what your higher self wants to talk to you about today. We have the anvil here, sensitivity and strength. Tapping the forces within, and this is card number 3. I'm really picking up on these reishi mushrooms here. There's something here for group number 1 about elevating yourself. So group number 1, I feel like some of you guys may be going through like a glow up or some sort of expansion that is raising you up in some way, shape, or form. Whether that is like energetically, or like a promotion type energy in your job or within your life somewhere. This could be like graduation as well. But there's this energy of raising up, rising, lifting. Interesting. So group number 1, a lot of you guys may really be feeling quite almost frustrated, feeling even like life in general, or some specific aspect of life may be feeling very heavy or even burdensome right now. And your higher self is coming through saying like there's relief coming. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some tarot, group number 1, and go a little deeper into this message for you. Group number 1, what does your higher self want you to know? Group number 1. You have the Magician. The Tower. Wow. And the Six of Pentacles. So group number one, what I'm seeing here for you is like this sense of almost guilt. I feel like group number one, you guys have been doing the work, putting the work in to elevate yourself. Look how this Magician here is sitting above this pool, almost like this levitation type energy. You've been doing the work to lift yourself up out of poverty, out of fear, out of lack, out of victim mentality, whatever it is. And it's almost as though you've come to this realization that in order to fully come out of this energy, you have to leave something or someone behind. And it's almost like there's this guilt attached to it because maybe you feel like you are it almost feels like you've used something as a stepping stone that you intended to be in your life for a longer period of time, and there's like this guilt surrounding that for some reason, group number one. And with the Tower here, this is saying like, in order for you to truly level up, you have to first create change, right? In order to build on to your home, you have to first take down walls, and it feels like that's where you're at currently. Your higher self is kind of addressing this realization that's coming in, that I feel like you guys are currently in this position of like sudden realization that something has to collapse in order for you to achieve your goals. We also have the Six of Pentacles here, group number one, which is telling me that there is this kind of shift in power, this change, this exchanging of power. So some of you guys, I'm kind of reading this for a lot of you guys is in regards to work or career or however it is that you bring in like finances. Maybe there was some sort of loss in the work itself. Maybe somebody got fired, or somebody got let go, or something happened. Maybe the business itself changed hands in order for you to kind of receive this position or this raise or this elevation. And that may be where this guilt is coming from, feeling like guilty for stepping into this position or into this place to receive this position or this money. Because it's like you know how it happened. And your higher self wants you to know that this is truly like alignment for you. There is a message here to really stop sacrificing yourself or your own growth or expansion in order to make sure everybody else is comfortable. It's not your job to keep everybody else comfortable. That's either their job or has to do with their life purpose or their guides or their higher self. You know, they have to go through their own tower moments and their own shifts and changes and exchanges in power as well. Let's pull some more cards. Group number one. Ooh. So let's clarify the Magician here. We have two infinity signs here. We have the one on the Magician's head as well as the one here with this infinite exchanging of energy. So your higher self here is also saying like there is a need to be careful who you exchange your energy with, whether that be physical, mental, emotional. With this strength and sensitivity, there's like this balancing act here in regards to creation that your higher self is pointing out. There always needs to be kind of that point of tension. I'm almost picking up on like a sextile energy that comes up in astrology. Interesting. Let's go ahead here and clarify the Magician for group number 1, please. We have the 3 of Wands. This is what you've been waiting for, is what I'm hearing. This is what you've been waiting for. What you've been trying to create is coming in. Like the ship is coming in. The shipment's coming in. It's coming to you. Again, it's like this feeling of like falling into a position because a business changed hands or something like that. That kind of energy coming through here where it's like you were in the right place at the right time is what it seems like. But with the Tower here, this is very much saying like this has been like divine intervention that has set you on this path. So there is a need to kind of, you know, we have the surfboard here to ride that wave, right? I'm also picking up on something here about a puzzle piece. Maybe some of you guys feel like you've been missing some sort of piece of the puzzle, or maybe you've been missing something like some physical something in your everyday life, and your higher self is saying like it's coming back to you. It's making its way back to you. Maybe somebody stole money from you or stole something from you. And if that's the case for you, group number 1, it is coming back to you. Your higher self is saying don't lash out, don't act out of character. It's exchanging hands right now and making its way back to you. Let's clarify the Tower. We have the Queen of Wands. So there's a lot of activations happening here for you, group number 1. A lot of activations and a lot of realizations, a lot of enlightenment, almost sudden awakening type energy happening here that is putting you in your power. Putting you in a position of power. Group number 1, I feel like your higher self wants you to know that you are very much so going to be in a place where other people are depending on your leadership in some way, shape, or form. You may be becoming a boss, your own boss, or taking over that position or that role in some way, shape, or form somewhere. There's a lot of motivation and a lot of energy coming in for you guys. Let's take a look at the 6 of Pentacles. We have death. We have death. major change, major transformation, major exchange of power, of energy here. Group number one, your higher self is wanting to prepare you for like higher financial status. There's a need to be prepared for that. Some of you guys may be coming into a position where you're needing to like hire an accountant or a financial advisor in some way, shape, or form. Look, we also have the infinity sign here. So this may come up as like a sign or a symbol for you guys as a message from your higher self. But there's major change happening, a major shift that is putting you in a position to expand greatly. I'm really picking up on financially here, but it could be different since this is a general reading. It could be different for you. It could be an expansion of your energy, an expansion of the mind of like major awakening energy here, regardless of how else this comes through for you, but major awakening, major realizations of maybe where you're meant to be or what you want to be doing. And there's like a stepping into that, an embodying of that, a raising your vibration to meet that energy. Group number one. Let's go ahead and pull some more oracle cards for you. Group number one. What else does your higher self want you to know? Other than you are going through a major life transition to step into your power and to, for a lot of you guys, step into your financial security or stability. We have the eagle with communication. Or, I'm sorry, with communion. And we have the rainbow with blessings. So I feel like group number one, your higher self here, is saying like it's time to really get in touch with your spiritual side, with your spirit guides or your god or goddess or whatever it is that you connect to. Tap into gratitude and really set some time aside for communion, for devotion, for connection spiritually. And we also have the blessings here, the rainbow blessings. So rainbows may come through as a sign for you as well. But with blessings here, this is just, we see this with the Six of Pentacles too, like you're just being handed this manifestation or this dream or this power or this money. It's going to come through a little bit differently for everybody, but it's going to be set right in your hand here. It's going to be put right in your hand. Your higher self wants you to know that it is going to happen. Like there's a period of alignment that you're currently going through where it may look like something is falling apart, or there may be guilt surrounding the fact that like maybe somebody else had to lose their job in order for you to step up, or something like that. But it's not your job to control their path or their destiny either. And just know that this happened in their life to align them to where they're meant to go as well. We have the bee spirit with prosperity. You guys, major prosperity, blessings, financial gifts, I feel like, really coming in for you guys. And we have 3 and we have 13 and we have the 3 of Wands. I'm really feeling the 3, so this could be in March for some of you guys, or on the 3rd in some way, shape, or form. Or it could come in like 3 separate transactions. Then we have new beginnings with daffodils, which we have death and rebirth as well. So some of you guys may be starting a new job, or going out on a new path, or maybe even moving for work in some way, shape, or form. But this is going to be a very abundant, very beautiful time for you. Maybe you're currently in a position where you're hesitating, or you're questioning whether or not you should take that leap, or whether or not you should start that new project, or start that new class, or however that might come through for you. And your higher self is saying absolutely yes. Okay. So this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful souls that chose pile number 1. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below. Let me know if you chose pile number 1. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, my beautiful group number 2. Those of you that chose card number 2 here, this reading is for you, and we are looking at a message from your higher self, what your higher self wants you to know right now, what your higher self is trying to communicate to you right now. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the overall energy or theme of the message that your higher self has for you, and then we will go deeper into that message with some tarot that we're going to shuffle out, and then I'll also pull some more oracle messages for you at the end of your reading. So group number 2, I do invite you to hit that like button if you enjoyed this reading, and consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. Let's go ahead and get right into it. What does your higher self want to talk to you about? When I was shuffling the cards coming into your reading, group number 2, I was really picking up on something about like an uphill battle or an uphill climb, putting a lot of work into something, kind of 10 of Wands energy. So that may be kind of where your current energy is at, feeling very strained, feeling very bogged down, overworked, maybe burnt out a little bit. Well, let's go ahead and see what your higher self wants to talk to you about. Group number 2. Wow, we have phase entanglement number 33 with emotional influence. And this may be kind of where that heaviness is coming from, feeling very bogged down. You may have found yourself in a situation where other people's ideas, thoughts, opinions, drama, gossip is influencing you in some way, shape, or form. Some of you guys may be caught in like a third party situation in regards to relationship. And if you're not right now, it could be the emotional aspect of that is present for you right now that you are currently dealing with. Maybe it's trust issues. Maybe you are feeling like you've been betrayed. Maybe somebody has shared some sort of information with somebody about you that wasn't supposed to be shared. Okay, so there is like it almost feels like an invasion of privacy for some of you guys. Or betrayal. Some of you guys, this could have to do with like a friend or a family member or a romantic relationship. Even a coworker for some of you guys. It just feels like something that somebody else has done or said is really disturbing your peace and your energy. And your higher self wants to talk to you about that today. We do have number 33, which is a master number. Some of you guys may have a master number as like a life path number or You may be seeing repeating numbers right now. And if so, that's just confirmation for you. Let's go ahead and pull some tarot, group number 2, and go a little deeper into what your higher self wants to talk to you about in regards to this. Okay. We have the Page of Cups, the Empress, So there is a sense of like emotional immaturity surrounding you somewhere, group number 2. This could be somebody that you have kids with, or somebody that maybe a sibling or that you grew up with, somebody that you knew as a child, or somebody who's, maybe you met through their child. Interesting. So emotional immaturity coming through here quite strongly. And then we have the Empress coming through, which is, I feel like, really asking you, like your higher self asking you to allow yourself to go through this gestational period, and kind of keeping to yourself. Kind of being in the cocoon type of energy here, group number 2. Where other people maybe don't have access to your energy. We also have the 6 of Cups here, so a lot of emotional energy, which we see with emotional influence. The baby in the womb is surrounded by water, and also is impacted deeply genetically in the DNA by the mother's emotional state while in the womb. It's almost like an emotional imprint. And I feel like group number 2, that may be something that is arising for you in your current present life or situation. You're being asked to kind of recognize the emotional states of others that have been imprinted on you that you are claiming as your own. This could be resentment, this could be bitterness, this could be feeling hopeless or mistrust even, that has come through from past situations or past relationships or even past lives that you're carrying now. With the 6 of Cups here, there's also like some nostalgia, right? Some remembering your childhood, potentially remembering your inner child. I really feel like this is really talking about the deep emotional imprints of being in the womb, of childhood, the way that you were conditioned, or the way that you were taught to perceive the world and to perceive emotions. Some of you, group number 2, may have a very difficult time with emotions. You may have a difficult time recognizing them. You may have a difficult time identifying them. You may black them out completely. Or there may be like some misconceptions or like skewed ideas or perspectives of what certain emotions are or what they're supposed to be. And your higher self, I feel like, is bringing this forward for you to be able to emotionally regulate yourself, for you to maybe reparent yourself, and for you to not be so greatly impacted by others' opinions, by others' perceptions, by others' emotional immaturity by other people's judgments specifically is coming through here quite strongly, like feeling like other people judge you very harshly or very negatively. You may really struggle with the way you think other people perceive you. And this is all coming forth to help you heal that. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some more cards here. Let's go a little deeper into the Page of Cups. Why is the Page of Cups here for group number 2, please? The Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like this is very deeply rooted in like in your past, something that's kind of threaded through everything in your life. I feel like the Seven of Pentacles here shows very slow-moving energy, something that has taken a very long time, something that you've worked a really long time on, again, is something that I'm picking up on like I did coming into your reading. Some of you guys have maybe been in a very long-term relationship that you are wanting to build a family, or maybe you've just become a parent, or you're thinking of becoming a parent, and your higher self is really wanting you to kind of uncondition yourself from your past, from your deeply ingrained kind of emotional conditioning, so that you can kind of break a cycle here. And for others of you, this is just about breaking the cycle, even if it's just for yourself, but it's something that's been kind of lining up for a long time, especially any of you who have been betrayed in relationships or have a difficult or complicated relationship with your parents or family members, or if you were adopted, or one of the parents left the household, maybe there's abandonment issues or an inability to connect. These kind of energies are coming up very strong for you, that your higher self is saying like it's time to get to the root of these emotions, get to the root of this emotional conditioning, so that you are able to move forward in a more emotionally mature manner. And for some of you guys, I feel like it's not very many of you, but for some of you guys, this is you dealing with somebody else that's currently going through this emotional immaturity, and it's impacting you because maybe you feel like you're getting stuck in the middle of a lot of like emotional drama. Maybe somebody tried to romantically reach out to you and you found out they had a partner already, or something like that, if you feel like this is about somebody else that you're currently dealing with. Let's take a look at the Empress. Why is the Empress here for group number 2, please? The Star. This is about healing. This is about healing on a very deep cellular level. Very deep healing, all the way down to the roots. Because I feel like group number 2, you are meant to break this cycle of emotional immaturity. You're meant to break this emotional imprint from your ancestors, from your bloodline, however that comes through. Or even if it's just from your biological mother, you may be meant to just kind of break free from that emotional imprint from being in the womb or from your childhood. I am really strongly picking up on like these abandonment issues for some of you guys that are coming to the surface to be healed. from childhood, or they started in childhood and have spread throughout your life moving forward. Why is the Six of Cups here? Group number 2, please. The King of Wands. Yeah, there is a strong sense of like this need to move forward, this need to be able to move on from the past, to heal, to be able to look forward instead of look behind you all the time. You guys may always feel like you're looking over your shoulder. You may feel sometimes like somebody's following you. You may feel like you can't trust other people. You may feel like you constantly have to look over your shoulder or watch your back. And I feel like that's kind of a subconscious way to kind of show you that you're still deeply connected to your past. That there's still something from your past that really needs your attention to heal so that you can move forward. So a lot of healing. Your higher self is really wanting a lot of emotional healing, a lot of reconditioning or reparenting from your childhood. So some of you guys, again, this could be like the emotional state that your mother or your biological mother or parents were in, that you grew up in. Maybe you grew up in a very difficult house, very difficult home. For some of you guys, maybe one of the parents left the home and you've been kind of like recreating that abandonment subconsciously throughout your life, or recreating that emotional state of your childhood home throughout your life. And your higher self is coming forth saying it's time to break free from that entanglement, from that emotional influence. Let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards for you, group number 2. You guys may also like really resonate or identify with the term empath, and that may be something that you've been kind of brushing this off as. It's like, well, I'm an empath, so I feel emotions deeper or differently, or I pick up on other people's emotions, and maybe you're assuming that they're people around you, when in reality it's like past energy. So that's just something else that's coming through here that your higher self is wanting you to kind of look at. And it's not that you're not an empath, but wanting you to look at like whatever it is that you're claiming is empathic energy could be this past energy that really needs to be healed. Okay, we have vulnerability with meadow. Yeah, so there's definitely a need to kind of almost crack open, to open yourself up, to be able to kind of heal this. And then we have purification with rain. Yeah, so your higher self is really calling for a lot of openness, a lot of clearing from past emotional trauma, past emotional influence. Okay. You may have like an aversion to rain or even to flowers. And I'm hearing that that may be kind of reflecting in a way your inability to be vulnerable, or your inability to let go or clear energetic ties to the past. So that's something to just kind of be able to recognize within yourself. There's a lot of like reflection happening here for you, but it's in a very subtle way, I feel like, and it may be kind of hard for you to kind of connect those dots. You may have a tendency to continuously surround yourself with people so that you aren't left alone with yourself. You may have a tendency or like aversions to certain things that could potentially put you in a position to have to face this. Interesting. Let's go ahead. There's just a little bit of like avoidance or aversions that I feel like are subtle enough to where like you may not even realize that it's subconsciously keeping you from dealing with these past ties. We have freedom with the eagle spirit. Yeah, so there's definitely a need for like emotional freedom. And that's what healing this is going to bring for you, group number 2. Or allowing yourself to let go of it is going to bring a lot of freedom because you're going to be able to soar. You're going to be able to move forward. And then we also have strength with the ancient oak spirit. There is strength in vulnerability. It takes a lot of strength and courage and bravery to be vulnerable, to be soft, to be open. Strength isn't always just brute force. It's not just bulldozing your way through your emotional side. Emotions aren't weaknesses, okay? Group number 2. They're an expression. They're healing. They show you what needs to be healed. They show you things in your reality that we can't perceive physically. They're not a bad, and that may be part of that childhood conditioning, that emotions are weak or they're a bad thing or a negative thing to show or to express. You may have a difficult time with that because of this, but your emotions don't make you weak, group number 2. Okay? But this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful souls that chose this pile. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here for you. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below, let me know if you chose this pile, and consider subscribing if you feel called to do so you don't miss out when I post future videos like this. I thank you so incredibly much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, my beautiful group number 3. Those of you that chose card number 3 here, this reading is for you, and we are looking at a message from your higher self. What does your higher self want you to know right now? What is your higher self trying to communicate to you? So we're going to start off with the overall energy or theme of the message, and then we will dive deeper into that message by shuffling out some tarot and then some more oracle cards as well. I do invite you to hit that like button, consider subscribing if you enjoy this reading, as it truly does help to support the channel. And without further ado, group number 3, let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to start here. What is your higher self trying to tell you? Group number 3. We have conscious steps, considered action, and looking forward. I feel like group number 3, your higher self is asking you to plan, to create a plan. Your higher self is asking you to trust your instincts as well. So there may be something that you're currently doing or that you're currently working towards or trying to achieve, and maybe something just doesn't feel right, or doing something a certain way just feels off. Or this could even have to do with like certain people or situations around you where something just feels off or something just feels wrong, and your higher self is asking you to trust that, okay? as well as like stay in your lane is what I'm hearing. Stay in your lane, stay in your own path. Don't worry about other people's paths or where their path is taking them or how you think they should be moving down their path. So there's a message here to like worry about yourself right now and be very aware and conscious about how you're moving, what you're doing, what you're eating. Are you drinking water? Are the actions that you're taking moving you forward, or are they hindering you? Okay, so there's a need to really evaluate your actions right now, the actions that you're taking. Like, are you procrastinating? Are you putting things off that could be done now because you don't feel like it? You may be really kind of blocking yourself because maybe there's like some work that has to get done and you are pushing it off. Interesting. Let's go ahead, group number 3, and go a little deeper into this message, what your higher self wants you to know right now. Group number 3, please. Okay. We have the 8 of Swords. I feel like there's something here where you are feeling very trapped, very stuck, very stagnant, but in reality, it's you not taking the action. It's you convincing yourself that you can't take the action. You telling yourself that you can't, oh, I can't do this until this, or I can't do this until I have enough money, or I can't do this until I have more room, or however that comes through for you. Your higher self is saying you're holding yourself back, you're in your own way, and there's a need to really reevaluate that and maybe reevaluate the actions that you're trying to take, and maybe try to take smaller steps initially instead of believing that you have to be able to make it to the finish line all in one step. Okay. We have the High Priestess. Again, there's that need to trust yourself, trust your intuition, and being able to discern your intuition versus your ego, potentially, or your fear, your shadow. Like really being able to discern these different aspects of yourself, of your spirit, of your soul. Because if you aren't able to discern what parts are what, you aren't able to discern what they're actually saying, right? So we trust our intuition, right? We follow our intuition. But if our ego is telling us not to do something out of fear of failure, or out of fear of not being good enough, or fear of making a mistake, fear of people seeing us make a mistake, that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. That means we need to kind of address this fear, or maybe do it scared, right? So these different aspects of ourselves, the things that they say can kind of determine how we're meant to move forward, but not necessarily that we shouldn't move forward. So that's something coming through here for group number 3 pretty strongly. And then we also have the 2 of Pentacles. So I do feel like there's something here about like decisions that you need to make, or that kind of weighing of the possibilities is coming forth here quite strongly for you, group number 3. I feel like there's something here where it's like, you know, there's 2 possible actions or options that you can choose from, and it's like one is going to be this conscious step, one is going to be this considered action, it's going to be a productive, useful movement, whereas the other one is going to validate your fear, it's going to validate this restriction, and you may be kind of stuck in this loop of constantly taking the step to validate your fear out of the fear of moving forward or moving out of where you are, because maybe you don't know how to do what you're setting out to do, or maybe you've never done it before, or maybe you're scared of how other people will perceive you, or maybe there's this kind of guilt of pursuing this because I tend to see a lot of people really struggle with coming out of poverty when they've been raised in poverty, or their family, their friends, their environment is poverty stricken. There's like this guilt that comes with moving out of poverty, and it's like that kind of energy that's coming in here that's keeping you stuck. It's this very unconscious choice of action that keeps you down here when you want to be up here, out of this idea that there's something wrong with coming out of this place that maybe other people that you care about are still going to be in. I hope that makes sense. But let's go ahead and pull some more cards and clarify these a bit more. Let's take a look at the Eight of Swords. Why is the Eight of Swords here for group number 3? The Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like the Eight of Swords is really, it's coming through here showing you how you're getting in your own way, how you're holding yourself back, how you're weighing yourself down with all of these beliefs or ideas or thoughts that validate your inability to move. And there's like this need to shed those, this need to set all of those things down that don't belong to you, that you're holding on to as a way to like convince yourself that you have to stay where you are. I hope that makes sense for you. But your higher self is coming through here saying, like, you know, you're taking on responsibility, or you're taking on jobs or energies as your own or as your responsibility that aren't actually yours, as a very, very subconscious attempt to validate this belief system that you aren't able to move forward yet, that you don't have enough, or that it isn't possible in some way, shape, or form. Why is the High Priestess here for group number 3? The Ace of Swords for a breakthrough. There's a need to trust your inner wisdom, trust your higher self, trust your intuition, trust where you are being led. And you may be in a point of tension right now, but there's going to be a breakthrough. There's going to be an epiphany, a realization, a release of that tension that makes it easier for you to move forward. I'm almost seeing this as like a severing of some sort of tie. It's going to make it so much easier to move forward for you. Why is the Two of Pentacles here for group number 3, please? Judgment. Yeah, so I really feel like group number 3, there's definitely like this energy here of letting yourself rise above where you currently are, letting yourself move forward. giving yourself permission to move forward is something so incredibly important. But in order to do that, you have to make that choice. You have to choose that. You have to choose to put down these responsibilities or obligations that you've taken on as your own when they're not even yours. You have to choose to trust that where your heart is leading you is where you're meant to be, and that it's not just some fantasy or some dream that is a waste of your time. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull some oracle messages, group number 3, and see what else your higher self wants you to know right now. Group number 3. You may have a tendency to really overthink a lot of the messages that you get from your intuition or from your higher self. And your higher self is saying, like, there's a need to really stop, like, trying to logically break down every single thing that happens in your life. That is how you are kind of convincing yourself that you aren't able to move. We have release. Yeah. You're being led to like a major release that's going to allow you to drop all this weight, that's going to allow you to cut all of these cords, that's going to allow you to move freely. Major release. If you can allow yourself to trust your higher self, to trust your intuition, to trust the universe, God, spirit, whatever it is for you, to lead you, and that you're not being misled, or you're not following some fantasy veiled. Yeah, so we have fog here. So there's something here where it's like there's a huge need to trust where you're being led, even though you can't see the destination. And that may be a really difficult thing for you to do, group number 3, but there is a need for you to step into that fog, for you to step into the unknown. You're not going to be able to understand why or have that clarity until you do. Until you step into it, until you allow yourself to move forward out of the safety of the familiarity, the familiar energy that you're in. Whether that familiar energy is positive or negative or indifferent or chaotic or whatever it is, whatever environment you're currently living in, it's like you're only staying there because it's familiar, and there's a comfort in things that are familiar, even if they cause us harm, even if they hurt us emotionally, even if we are anxious or unsatisfied. We stay there because it's easier or less scary than moving into something that we've never done before. And you're really being guided to move into something that you've never done before, or to go somewhere you've never been before. What else does group number 3 need to know right now? New beginnings. Yeah, it's time to step into new energies, new environments, new situations, new paths. Uncertainty. Yes, it is time. It's time to embrace uncertainty. It's time to embrace these new beginnings and this unknown. Okay, group number 3. But you have to make that choice, that conscious choice to step into that. But this is what I'm seeing. Group number 3, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here for you. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below, let me know if you chose pile number 3. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, my beautiful group number 4. Those of you that chose card number 4 here, this reading's for you, and we are looking at a message from your higher self, what your higher self wants you to know, what your higher self is trying to communicate to you, okay? So we're going to start off here with the overall energy or theme of your reading, and then we will go deeper into that message by shuffling out some tarot cards, and then we will also pull some more oracle cards after we finish with the tarot. I do invite you to please hit that like button, consider subscribing if you enjoy this reading, as it truly does help to support the channel, you guys. But let's go ahead and get into your reading. Coming into your reading, there is a big energy of the perception of potential. I feel like group number 4, you may be the kind of people who see the potential in other people, who see how good somebody could be, or how far they could go, or even the kind of people who see all of the kind of like unlimited possibilities in life. And what I'm seeing with that is like this tendency to spread yourself too thin, for one, and for two, to never really gain a focus, because there's like this energy of needing to do everything all at once that your higher self is coming through here wanting to address. So maybe your higher self is positioning you to like start with one thing, or even like a handful of things, or however it comes through for you, to start smaller. Okay, you don't have to do everything all at once. Start smaller and slowly build. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what your higher self wants to talk to you about. Group number 4, prosperity, abundance, and success. So maybe I'm really picking up on the energy of Monet. There may be some really spiritual messages that come through by studying Monet's work for you guys. Interesting. Maybe some of you guys are artists. Anyway, group number 4. I feel like maybe some of you guys, this has to do with, building your own business or building your own abundance or income streams. And you may try to dip your toes into everything all at once instead of establishing one thing at a time. Maybe the thing that you're the best at, do that, and then build on that, expand from there. Start with a foundation in order to build your abundance, your success, your legacy, your prosperity. Group number 4. I feel like maybe you've been working in money magic, or you've been trying to manifest abundance, and maybe it hasn't been working, or maybe it's been going very slow, or it's been very small. And I think a big part of that is a need to narrow your focus to start with, and then build upon that instead of trying to build everything all at the same time. Rome wasn't built in a day, is what I just heard, group number 4. Rome wasn't built in a day. Because what will happen if you continue trying to spread yourself too thin, or trying to build everything all at once, is nothing's going to be structurally sound. Okay, nothing's going to be stable, is what I'm really picking up on here. Let's go ahead, group number 4, and pull some tarot and go a little deeper into this message for you. Group number 4. What does your higher self want you to know? Group number 4. We have the 7 of Wands. the Page of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups. Okay. Group number 4, starting off here, what I'm seeing is with the Seven of Wands, there is a need for self-preservation. There is a need for you to maintenance yourself and maybe the foundation that you do have before building upon it. With the Page of Pentacles, this is again starting small, starting with what you have, starting where you are, in order to build that abundance. The Pentacles is our physical environment, our physical world, our money, our resources, our investments, right? And with the Page of Pentacles, this is saying to start small. You know, this isn't the Knight, this isn't the Queen, this isn't the King. This is young, okay? And there's a need to treat it as such, to nurture it, to maintain it in order for it to grow. In order for it to be stable. With the Four of Cups, this brings in this energy of boredom, this energy of disinterest. And that may be kind of something that you struggle with, group number 4, is like this inability to continue focusing on something because you get bored with it and you want to move on to something more exciting because maybe it's moving too slowly for you. And I feel like your higher self is saying that there's a need for you to find comfort in this kind of slower energy, for you to find comfort in stillness, for you to find comfort in stability. Interesting. So group number 4, your kind of, I feel like your stability financially is very much so connected to your ability to be emotionally, mentally, spiritually stable as well. And what I mean by this is some of you guys may have grown up in households where relationships were very strained or toxic or unstable in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like a lot of you guys have perpetuated this throughout your own lives, as we do, right? As we're conditioned to do. That's how humans work. And I feel like you may have a tendency to self-sabotage. You may have a tendency to get very chaotic in anything that requires commitment, stability, especially relationships, with the Cups being here. You may really have a tendency to self-sabotage relationships, commitments, maybe even contracts, you know, like cell phone contracts or like things like that. And I feel like there's a direct correlation to your financial abundance and stability, your prosperity, your legacy that you're building, to this kind of emotional stability, like this need for healing. You may have a fear of commitment, an inability to settle down out of this like very deep rooted subconscious fear of abandonment or subconscious fear of betrayal, or maybe just the idea of like this long-term energy is very uncomfortable for you. So there's something here about that for you, group number 4, that your higher self is wanting you to kind of address, to recognize, to work on healing, because it's directly connected to your prosperity. So this could be like sacral chakra work, very deep sacral chakra work, as well as root chakra work. Our root chakra is our foundation. It's our root. It's our ancestors, our stability, our possessions. But our sacral chakra also has to do with our abundance and our relationships. Let's go ahead and pull some more cards. Group number 4. Let's go ahead and clarify the 7 of Wands. Why is the 7 of Wands here? Group number 4, please. 6 of Cups. Some of you guys may really find yourself being very desperate for attention, for love, for somebody to show interest in you. And I feel like your higher self is coming through here saying that there is a need for balance. There's a need for you to give yourself that attention and that love and that care. You may be solely focused on giving it away, or on trying to convince somebody to stay, or trying to catch somebody's attention just because you want to. Interesting. So there's this like need for attention here that is being asked to be explored. Group number 4, you may have grown up feeling very invisible, very unseen, very unheard. Or you may have grown up in a place where attention equaled love. Or attention may have been a reward for doing something right. And you're really being asked to explore that in order to better learn how to tap into like this self-preservation energy instead of needing that external force to give you that super big high, and then once the attention goes away, it's like you fall dramatically. So there's been like this roller coaster, and then we begin to crave that roller coaster, which is why we get bored and we begin to sabotage things, or we begin to create chaos, even if it's subconsciously. Why is the Page of Pentacles here? Group number 4. Okay. We have strength. Yeah, there's a need to start small and to build strong instead of build quickly. Okay, we also have the 10 of Swords here, hiding in the background, which I feel like is saying, like, for some of you guys, group number 4, it's almost like this energy of like stabbing yourself in the foot, of like this cycle of self-sabotage, really. Like, I don't know how else to put that. Or feeling very betrayed, this cycle of feeling betrayed because somebody didn't give you the attention that you thought they should, or other people didn't do the things that you thought they should that would have helped you in your business or to build whatever it was that you were building. Interesting. So start small. Again, start small and build strong instead of building fast and quickly, or building fast and rickety, building fast and without the support or stability. Why is the 4 of Cups here? Group number 4. 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, it definitely has to do with other people, other energies. We have the 10 of Wands on the bottom. I feel like group number 4, you guys have a tendency to run when things get hard, or you have a tendency to like I said, self-sabotage, but with this Ten of Wands energy here, this subconscious energy, it's like you may have a tendency when things get difficult, or when you get bored, or when you're like subconsciously creating this chaos, you may have a tendency to just pack your stuff up and leave. And it's like, I'll just start over somewhere else. I built it once, I can do it again. And it's like this cycle, this ever revolving door of starting over. And that is your pattern of self-sabotage, which is why there's a need for self-preservation, for self-stability, for self-guided support, and to start small and build upon things instead of needing dramatic shows of money or of love, dramatic attention in order to keep your interest. This is really what your higher self is really, really wanting to guide you towards here. Self-preservation, stability, building slow and strongly, narrowing your focus, and really wants you to know that like your ability, or like your need, your desire to build everything at once is directly connected to like this kind of chaotic need for attention or approval even from other people. I hope that makes sense for you guys, group number 4, but let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards for you. Group number 4. What else does group number 4 need to know? Nurturing. Yeah, again, we're just confirming like this need for nurturing, for growing, for building genuinely, and in a sustainable way. And we also have music with harmony. I do feel like a lot of my group number 4s are in the arts, or art may be very healing for you in some way, shape, or form. Art therapy. With this harmony here, I feel like this is kind of alluding to the idea of how you work with others, or like your need for attention, your need for, I mean, and everybody needs attention, everybody needs love, everybody needs nurturing and community and coworkers and these types of things. But I feel like there's this cycle for group number 4, this need for attention, where you may like really seek out the attention of others, or expect big shows of affection, or expect certain people or certain kinds of relationships to move in a very particular way, and then when they don't, you use that maybe as an excuse or a reason to leave, or to kind of break everything down and start over. Very self-sabotagey energy because of external forces not moving in the way that you think they should, that to satisfy your need for attention, because I feel like that need for attention is driven from like your childhood, like attention equals love, or however that might come through for you. Let's pull a couple more cards. Group number 4. We have refuge with the enchanted Fern Grotto. And we have expansion with the spirit guardian of summer. Yeah, I feel like there is a need for like this refuge, like a safe space, a safe harbor, or like the stability even with this refuge. Creating a safe space, making your home a safe space, making your place of work or your place of business a safe space in order to expand. This is a type of expansion, which may be something that some of you guys may need to look at differently or like gain perspective on, is that stability and this strong foundation is expansion. If you don't have that already, it is expansion, it is growth, it is abundance, it is prosperity, and it's only going to grow from there. Okay? But this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful group number 4. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here for you. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below. Let me know if you chose pile number 4. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so incredibly much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.